Hi everybody, thank you for watching. In today's video, I'm going to teach you how I got this full face highlight and contour routine using only drugstore products. Some of the products have been my favorite for quite some time now, and others I just tried out just for the first time today. So I'm actually so pleasantly surprised with how it turned out. I think it's really natural, and it's perfect for those of you guys on a budget that still want to get that really nice, flawless face. So I also wanted to quickly mention that my earrings are from Ludora Boutique, and for the next day or two, I think it's for the next 2 days, I'll write it all in the description box, but the 10% off code that I normally have is now a 30% off code. So if any of you guys have been a little hesitant on purchasing some things for a better code, I recommend going over to the site now and checking out some of their beautiful earrings because they are so beautiful, and again, I have a 30% off code. So I will list all those details in the description box for those of you guys interested. And if you guys want to see how I got this full face look, please keep watching. So first I'm going to be priming with my Hard Candy Sheer Envy Primer. This one is specializing in minimizing lines and pores, so it's going to give you that blurred effect. This one I picked up from Walmart, so I'm just going to put a little bit on my fingers and rub it all over my face. When you're highlighting and contouring, a primer is very important, because you're going to be adding a lot of product and you don't want it moving around. You want it to stay all day long. Next I'm using this NYX concealer, and this is the full coverage concealer. It's a bright orange shade. Some of you guys may be like, well, what the heck do you need that for? But I don't think I've really ever shown you guys how to color correct in a highlight and contour tutorial. It's something that I started doing more recently because I noticed after a few hours these dark circles would just come out no matter how much concealer I used. So I'm just applying a little bit on my brush, and you're going to apply this underneath your eyes. If you have those dark circles, obviously some people are blessed and don't have dark circles. Mine aren't too bad, but this is just a step I wanted to show you guys because I did notice that after a few hours, instead of having my dark circles come back out, when I do the orange first, it helps keep them concealed. So it's gonna look really weird at first, obviously, but we're gonna be covering that up anyway. If you get dark spots like around your mouth or really anywhere, basically like the purpley blue colors, feel free to apply that because we're going to be covering it with foundation. For foundation, I'm using the L'Oreal Magic Nude Liquid Powder Foundation. Make sure you're shaking it really well before you apply it. I'm using this in the shade 320, which it's looking like it might be a little too dark for me, but we shall see. I'm extra pale, so a little color never hurt nobody. So you can see the orange just kind of disappears once you put your foundation on. I like this foundation because it's not too thick, it's pretty thin. It gives you, I would say, medium coverage. If you guys are looking for more of a full coverage, which one? The L'Oreal True Match, I believe. Is it the True Match? I think it has a little bit of a fuller coverage, but I'm just applying this all down because I'm wearing a lower shirt and my skin's a little paler, so I'm just making sure it all blends. For concealer, I'm using the Dark Circle Eraser in the color Light. And you're going to apply this under your eye and down a little bit, like to here. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Also on my chin, in between my brows, and down the bridge of my nose. If you want a little bit of extra highlight, this part is optional, but I'm just gonna do it to show you guys. This is by Maybelline as well. It's the Dream Lumi Highlighting Concealer. So I'm just gonna apply a little bit just underneath where I would normally highlight. Just right here. So normally at this point I'd blend this in before contouring, but just to show you guys where everything goes, I'm going to do the contour next. I haven't tried this one yet. I just went to the drugstore and picked it up. It's by Revlon in the color Rich Ginger. So I figured it'd be easier to use a stick, but we'll see how I like it. But you're going to apply this on your cheeks. And you don't want to just apply lines wherever. You want to actually go along your contour zone. So if you want to suck in your cheeks a little bit and see where that line is, that's where you're going to apply it. I'm also going to apply it around my forehead and also under here. And then to contour my nose, I'm going to use the same shade, but I'm going to just use a brush to make it a little bit thinner. And as you guys can see, this contour color isn't that dark. You don't need to go too dark because I'll later use powder and make it a little bit darker. That. So it might be a little hard to see because it's not such a dark color, but no biggie. Okay, so I have two little foundation brushes. These are MAC 130s, and one of them is lighter, one is darker, because I like to use them to blend in the highlight and contour. So as you can see now that I've highlighted and everything, I mean, we still have more steps to go, but that orange concealer that I originally applied is nowhere to be seen. So it's basically just to prep it. That way if the concealer is fading a little bit, your dark circles aren't going to pop out. And I swear I've done it a few times and I wasn't really sure if it did a difference, but then when I stopped doing it, I did notice that it would get a lot darker under my eyes. So this is definitely something I recommend, and I don't think I've ever talked about it in a video, so. If you guys have a smaller forehead, you can highlight higher and do less contour, but I have a nice large forehead, so I do just a little bit of highlight, and then the contour is going to take up most of my forehead because that's going to help make it look smaller. So now I'm going in with the other brush. You don't need two brushes, but in between I would recommend wiping it, or at least do the lighter part before you do the darker part, because otherwise there would be no point in highlighting if you're just going to use the dark over it. A little stuffy today, don't mind me. And then to blend my nose, I'm going to use my finger. So now to set the highlighted areas, I'm using by Revlon the pressed powder in, what color are you? In light. And this is also a new purchase, so we'll see. But I'm just using this big fluffy brush. This is Sigma F25. You're just lightly putting this over all that because we want to set it. We don't want it moving all over the place. So that is that. So now that we've set all the highlighted areas, I'm going to go in with my L'Oreal True Match in the color Cocoa. And this one I've been using forever, and I've always been a big fan of this. I used to use this as a bronzer. You can also use it to contour. And I'm using my Sigma F05 contour brush. Just going to apply a little bit on your brush and do little circular motions over the contoured area. So I think the whole thing with contour and highlighting is, since some of these products are brand new and I'm just trying them, and I can't really tell, to be honest, the difference between the drugstore or the higher end. It's really all about technique. It's about brushes. The brushes are so important. Most of my brushes are Sigma. I will list all the brushes that I did use for you guys. So I think if you invest in a really good set of brushes, that's going to really help give you that flawless finish that most people want. So, I mean, so far I'm like very happy with how it's looking. I haven't done an all drugstore like face routine in about a year actually. So, just a nice reminder that you don't need to spend so much money on all these different new makeup products. You know, like some of the old stuff does just as good as some of the newer things. So next I'm taking this MAC 129 fluffy brush, and I'm just going to add a little bit more bronzer because I'm just feeling a little bit pale. So just very lightly, you can even go over a little bit of the highlighted areas just to add a little color into your face. Next for blush, I'm using this one by NYX, and it's, I swear, one more chuck, drive by. NYX blush in the color Wanderlust, and right now I'm loving this Morphe M402 brush for blush. I've also never used this blush before. I've tried it in other shades, so we'll see how it comes out. It's a nice peachy color. Pretty. These NYX blushes are really good, just they're maybe not as pigmented as most, so if you just need to dip it in a few extra times, go right ahead. But I like this because it has a nice little shine to it. They're baked blushes, so they have like a nice little highlight built in. And one of my all-time favorite highlighters from the drugstore is the Maybelline Master Glaze and the color Subtle Bronze, and these are unreal. Like, I go back on videos sometimes and I'm like, okay, how did I do that makeup look? Because I forget sometimes. And this highlighter is just incredible. It's one of my favorites. Should have included it in my yearly favorites, but I forgot like a bunch of things. So you just apply a little bit on your fingers and you can just dab it. I like to highlight just right above my cheek. You can see it gives it a really pretty look. If you want, you can apply a little bit to the bridge of your nose and your Cupid's bow. So for those of you guys like me that have some little wrinkles under your eyes, no matter what I do, I've literally tried every single product, I've tried every suggestion, and I just have these three little wrinkles right under my eyes. I don't know if you can even see them from here, but there's nothing I could do to get rid of them, no powder, no nothing. My concealer will always crease into them, so my little technique is applying a light shade with my pencil brush right underneath my eyes, like always I do it. And I do it a little bit lower than I normally would, and it just covers like most of the wrinkles, so you can't even see the wrinkles. So if you guys have some under eye wrinkles, just put a very light, like smudged out line on the bottom lash line, and it's really gonna hide it. So, just a little technique that I like to do. So moving on to lips, I'm using the NYX Pencil in Natural. And I just wanted to let you guys know because I had a little bit of chapstick on before I started this look. This is the Burt's Bees in the color Champagne. My lips have been so chapped lately, so I spent a little extra money on a chapstick because apparently the Burt's Bees is supposed to be really good. So that's what that little shimmer is. And then for lipstick, I'm using this new one. It's called Decadent Peach by CoverGirl. And this I also just picked up today, so let's see how it looks. Since it's a little sheerer than expected, I'm going to go over that with Wet n Wild 902C. And last but not least, since I completely forgot, let me add a little bronzer to my neck and chest so it matches. It's one thing you always want to remember if you're wearing a low-cut shirt or any skin is showing and you're applying contour and highlight on your face, you need to do your neck and your chest, because otherwise it's gonna look like you're wearing a mask, and that's like the #1 rule for makeup. So this is the final result. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I am so pleasantly surprised with how it turned out, and I will be using some of these products in my everyday routine now because, I don't know, I feel like this looks so much more natural than my usual contour and highlight. Maybe I just need to start using lighter colors because, I don't know, I'm used to having a nice tan, and lately I've been rocking my natural skin tone color, and I guess maybe some of the shades I've been using have been a little too dark. So I hope you guys enjoyed this routine. I hope you learned something new. Please comment below what you guys want to see next on my channel this week, because I've been going through all your suggestions and I want to keep updating you guys on different routines that of course you want to see. So I love you so much, and until next time, I'll see you guys later.